What's up, everyone? Jase Dussia here from Flex Innovations. I'm really excited today to give you an overview of the unboxing of the new Flex Innovations FP or Foam Profile series. We have the first two aircraft of this series, the Edge 540 FP and the Ultimate FP. We have the production boxes here, the Edge 540 FP and the Ultimate FP. We're going to take a look at what it looks like when you open up the box, as well as the individual parts. So we'll start with the Edge 540. Both airplanes are very similar with how they're packaged, but obviously a little bit different, with one being a monoplane and the other being a biplane. So this sheet is an overview of the already installed carbon fiber, just to give a little bit of a diagram and a better understanding. This includes some EPP foam parts. These pieces include parts of an optional build stand. This is a bit of a square tool, just to help keep everything in line. Another piece for the stand. The base to the optional stand. These are obviously the 3mm EPP wheel pants, which are optional but very easy to install. And here we have the optional side force generators. Here we have some propeller bands. There's a few in there of different sizes, so that all boils down to personal preference. We have another bag with the landing gear, which is pre-assembled, ready for wheel pants if you choose. So the pre-assembled landing gear. The APC included 9-inch propeller, very high performance for this setup, and what we have used for years on aircraft such as this. Some miscellaneous zip ties and Velcro. This piece is an optional support mount for your speed controller. The ESC does come pre-installed, but you can install this on the other side and wrap Velcro around the fuselage if you wanted to do so. These pieces are landing gear support mounts. Our manual shows this more in detail and more up close, but just a quick mock-up of how the landing gear with the landing gear supports work. One side of the landing gear will slide through the highest position slot on its side and the lowest position slot on its opposing side, making this equal for each landing gear. Some miscellaneous heat shrink and even more prop bands if needed. All right, so one of the first pieces that's recognizable as part of the airplane itself. This is the top part of the fuselage. As you can see, linkages already installed. Linkage supports already installed, just ready to be clamped onto the servo, and in this case, the rudder servo, obviously. Here we have the recognizable wings, aileron servo pre-installed, servo arm mounted, linkages connected, control horns installed. On the bottom, we have some carbon fiber bracing. So the bottom half of the fuselage obviously glues onto the wing, and these just simply poke into the fuselage with a little bit of adhesive. Just make sure that the fuselage is straight 90 degrees when doing so, and you should be all set. Some spare carbon fiber. We have a long flat piece as well as some carbon fiber rod. All right, so the main part of the fuselage here, all braced up with carbon fiber rod trussing pre-installed, servos pre-installed. We have the motor pre-installed. This foam mount is to help keep the motor safe during shipping. The motor mount is installed, as you can see. The only job left to do in regards to the motor is just bolt this screw onto the top part of the fuselage once it's glued in. ESC pre-installed, mounted, wired. So pretty much the inclusion of the Ultimate FP is the same, with a few other minor details with it being a biplane, but we'll still unbox and go over each feature. This bag includes the EPP foam parts for the stand, as well as the wheel pants, just like the Edge does. But it also includes the interplane struts for the wings. And as you can see, these have a piece of flat carbon fiber going through the center to help support them. Carbon fiber spec sheet, just like the Edge. This bag has the assortment of propeller bands, pre-assembled landing gear, 9-inch APC propeller, zip ties, Velcro strap, and it also has the pre-assembled linkages that connect the top and bottom ailerons. This is a very easy installation process as they are already pre-assembled and the provisions are made in the ailerons. Top piece of the fuselage with the linkages installed just like the Edge. Here's the top wing. These plastic pieces indicate where the Z-bend goes for the connecting linkage for the top and bottom aileron. Bottom wing, servo pre-installed, control horns pre-installed, linkages assembled. These easy connectors are used to connect the linkage for the top and bottom ailerons. Here we have the main piece of the fuselage, a lot like the Edge, carbon fiber trussing pre-installed, servos pre-installed, ESC hooked up, motor installed. As you can see here, the bottom wing installs with these notches. Here's the provision for the servo. So basically, if you'd like, you can install the top part of the fuselage first, and then the wings, and then interplane struts. So that concludes the basics of unboxing for the Flex Innovations FP series. We are extremely excited to offer the Ultimate FP and the Edge FP to everyone, as we firmly believe these models fit every flying style and experience level. Be sure to follow along on our Instagram page and Facebook page for more info and tips for this line of aircraft. Thanks for watching. The FP monoplane airframe is split into three main parts. To glue the bottom half of the fuselage, we will want to apply adhesive along the center part of the main wing. This includes a little bit on the aileron servo itself. Let's also not forget to apply building adhesive to the forward and aft center portion of the wing. After installing the bottom half of the fuselage, you will notice these carbon rods. We can apply building adhesive to the end of these rods, poke them into the fuselage, and make sure alignment is 90 degrees to the wing. Shown is how the landing gear reinforcement plates work. Building adhesive can be applied to the inside of each reinforcement plate, as well as the end of each landing gear half to be properly secured into the wing. To install the wheel pants, apply a small amount of adhesive at the end of the wheel axle. Make sure that you put adhesive where the top tab of the motor mount goes, also along the bottom of the top piece of the fuselage, and finally where the fuselage glues to the tailpiece. The only step required to mount the motor is to thread in the provided Phillips screw. Install a piece of provided carbon rod joining the horizontal stab and vertical stab together to increase rigidity. The optional top half of the side force generators can be installed by applying adhesive to the tab areas. The interplane struts for the ultimate biplane are installed in the same manner using the tab and glue system. These linkages are used to join the top and bottom ailerons together. Apply the carbon rods as shown in the cabane area. This will help keep everything aligned. The linkage equipment used makes for an easy setup process, allowing for zero or close to zero subtrim. Keep the connector screw loose while you center the control surface. Then once all is centered, you can tighten the screw. The same can be done to connect the top and bottom ailerons for the ultimate biplane. That concludes the assembly and setup overview of the Flex Innovations foam profile aircraft line. Be sure to follow our social media page for any updates, announcements, and more info. We also have our manual uploaded on our website, along with a document highlighting the Aura 5 programming for the FP lineup. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your Flex Innovations foam profile aircraft.